Soulmate with Brian. I have a deep question or like a tough question for you. I heard that you almost died.
Oh,
Yeah, 3 times
Yeah, 3
during
times.
this during ministry.
Yeah.
So if it's okay with you, if you could share with us those
Yep.
those tough times that you had,
Of course, yeah.
how did you how did you survive? What happened?
right. Okay. Well, just like Brian came, like God used me and a lot, and I went out to like so many different countries, and because I'm a musician, like a violinist, I can just play like hymns and praises to countries where they cannot, like where the gospel cannot be preached. So God sent me to all those countries. Yet I just played Amazing Grace, which they did not know.
Yeah.
But yeah, which was one of the strengths of as a musician,
Exactly.
instrumentalist, right?
Right.
Yeah. And there was one time when I was in Cambodia, I was with a team with the b-boys and with the dancers and band and all that. We united and we went to Cambodia, and we went to this biggest Cambodian like water festival that's held annually, but we were invited to perform there. And because we couldn't speak Cambodian, we prepared a skit like drama of Jesus dying on the cross
Jesus,
and
okay.
yeah, all that. So we did that, and there were like thousands of people there. And after we've left the stage and went back to our accommodation, there was this huge tragedy because there were so many people and it was so out of order. Like there was this huge bridge, and after everything was finished, people were rushing over to bridge from this side, this direction, and other thousands of people were, pushing each other towards the other. So they were like, in the middle, like people in the middle had nowhere to go, and people were kept on, pushing.
On each side?
Yeah.
Thousands of people?
Yes, thousands of people. So people
On the bridge?
On the bridge. So there were nowhere to go for the people in the middle of the bridge, coming from each different directions. So they had to jump into the water, and they got stepped into. So 320 people died on that
Really?
side.
Died?
But yes,
That many?
Yes. It was on the news.
How many?
320.
That many?
Yes.
Wow.
Because there were thousands of people. Yeah, no order, and God helped us and to escape before that actually happened. So that's when we were, God saved me for the first time. I mean, we had this, sad and sorrowful heart for the people who died.
course,
Yeah. But why God? You should have taken us, because we knew we'd go to heaven, right? If we died on this site. But why those people? And then God told us that He still had things to do. He still had plans for us. That's why He left us, He saved us. So we were like praying and praising and okay, we will, do God's work more. That's a reason why we survived.
Yeah.
So that was the first time. The second time, I was in Christchurch in New Zealand. And I performed there. I was in the CTV, Christchurch TV, and I was able to preach gospel to non-Christians and all that. And after I've left that site, I drove up north, about 2 to 3 hours, and then the earthquake.
Earthquake, okay.
Yeah, on Christchurch. Yeah, it was 9 point something. It was really strong one.
Yeah.
And 210, about 10 people died. So I was like there 2 hours ago. And the CTV building and the Majestic church building all collapsed. I was there like 2 to 3 hours before it. So I was like, oh God, you should have taken me instead of those people. But then God had the strong message. I still have a lot of things done with you. Yeah, that was the second time I almost died.
The third time.
It was Japan.
Japan?
You know, when there was this huge earthquake in Japan.
Earthquake, uh-huh.
Yeah, I was almost there when the earthquake happened, but like a few days before I left Korea to Japan, the earthquake happened, and yeah, so many people died, right? Yeah, so I ended up not being able to go, but then I had to pray for the souls in Korea. Yeah, I mean, after several months, 6 months or something, I went to the site where the earthquake happened, and it was still a mess, total mess, because tons and tons of fish containers were just sitting there. There was no, I mean, it seemed like there was no work done at all, but they told me, you know, there's so many volunteers coming in from all over the countries, cleaning up and you know, supporting and helping people who lost their family and their houses. And the fish smell was like awful. I had to put like, you know, so many masks over my mouth, but then I could feel smell the fish. But when I was there with my team, like there are people living in the school gyms, school halls, because they lost their houses. Yeah, and all they could do was to just be in despair and just eat the food they were given, and they were just hopeless. And we were just serving them like how Jesus would, like, and we performed before them. First, when we were performing, like they didn't even pick out. They weren't interested at all. But then we kept on performing and dancing and playing and then singing, and then people slowly showed interest, and they were looking at us. Because they were hopeless, you know, nothing actually meant to them, you see. But then, yeah.
That shows the power of music, the power of service.
Yes, of course.
The power of love, you know, power of God through you and through the missionaries and musicians, right?
Of course.
And that's why we do what we do. Just hearing your story about, you know, these near-death experiences, you know, and you saying, God has left me on this earth because He has so much more to do.
Yes.
And you did it. You went to Japan and you helped the hopeless,
Help them,
right?
Yeah, right. Serve them.
That's your main ministry and that's your main goal.
Of course, yeah.
I heard recently that not only did you, you know, continue with your music ministry, but you actually became a new author.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's something new and exciting, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, can you tell our viewers out there about your book? You know, how you wrote it, what it's about? That'd be great if you could share with us.
Yes. It's called. It's in Korean. The book is in Korean.
What is it in Korean?
주님 기뻐 받으셨나요?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
God,
you like that?
Did you receive this well or with joy?
With joy, right?
Yeah.
With pleasure.
Were you blessed, right?
Very blessed, yeah. Because every time after my ministry finishes, I always pray and ask God, 주님 기뻐 받으셨나요? Are you pleased? Because if we weren't filled with grace, we can't really actually spread gospel, or we can't really be the deliverer of the grace if we didn't
Without
have
grace.
that without grace, right?
Ourselves,
in ourselves, right? So every time I pray to God, God, fill me with grace first, so that I could flow it to the audience, you know. And afterwards, I always ask, 주님 기뻐 받으셨나요? Because without that, our ministry is just meaningless, right? It would be just me playing, and that's it, right? Without sharing testimony and without that grace. So I'll always ask Him. My main ministry has been not just playing, but sharing testimony about how God paralyzed my arm, so I couldn't play the violin for 2 years. And then through prayer, He healed me miraculously. I always share the testimony and others. So I always said to the audience that I have, apart from this testimony, I have about 153 more testimonies to share, stories to share. You know what that means, right?
Oh, yeah, of
Fish,
course.
the number of fish, 153. As a joke. So many testimonies. And I always told them one day I'm going to write this, so you can all read about it. And when I was back in New Zealand, being pregnant heavily, like throwing up every day, I couldn't do anything else. So that was the time I could actually write those stories down. And all the testimonies ended up being in a book.
Yeah.
So it's like a 간증집, like full of testimonies and stories, how God used me to glorify Him, and how He used me to share the gospel with others.
Wow.
So it's like a story-based book,
Yeah.
but it's in Korean, so it would be hard for you to read,
Yeah.
right?
It's hard for me to read too.
Yeah.
I can read, but very slowly.
Slowly, right?
Yeah.
You need
great.
to be in the subway. You need
Subway?
to be in the subway. You hardly use subway, right?
I don't use subway. Yeah, I haven't been on the subway in a long time.
I
but,
know, but that's the perfect time to read books,
or
right?
bathroom, right?
Or bathroom. Put it in the bathroom.
Yeah. But that's exciting. I mean, I've always wanted to write a book. That's why I chose my major, English literature.
Right.
A long time ago in Texas, to be a Christian author. But God, He took me to Korea as a missionary, as a musician,
Yeah.
as a speaker, as a leader, as a director. But I've always wanted to write my testimonies as well, just like you, in a book. And hopefully, I'll have the chance later. But
You need to get pregnant.
I just get pregnant. What are you talking about?
That's the time you
Yeah.
can't really do your ministry and all that. That's
Yeah.
the time
I
when
think
you
they're
can
gonna
sit
just
down actually.
use this clip. Brian, you need to be pregnant. Yeah, this is gonna be title, right, of
Yeah.
the YouTube thumbnail.
Of course, yeah.
Right, but yeah, I know what
That's
you
why I
mean.
said it.
Yeah, sometimes we need to step out or step back, and we think, oh God, why? Why am I pregnant, or why am I in New Zealand, or why COVID?
Right.
But actually, it was a gift and an opportunity
To-
for new ministry, right?
Yes, step
Yeah.
out, right? Yeah, during COVID, you did your new ministry as
Exactly.
well, right? Yeah.
If it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't
Right.
have my YouTube and Instagram and the Hongdae worship, worship
Right.
place.
Of
I
course.
wouldn't have invested my life in the next generation of Christian musicians.
Yeah.
I would have just been so busy just in the regular pattern of ministry.
Right, right.
And it's a blessing, just to kind of step back.
Maybe you need another.
Yes,
Or
maybe
pregnancy.
maybe we all need that spiritual, right?
Yeah.
COVID season, where God changes everything, but God's actually working.
Of
He's
course.
moving,
Yes, he is
and
always.
God knows what He's doing, right?
Right, of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah, people think they're in wilderness and when they're having their hardship spiritually, but that is the time when you can step up and get another opportunity to refresh yourself and do more things and better things and other things for God. So you can't really think wilderness is just hardship, but it's just another opportunity.
Welcome to another episode of Soulmate with Brian. It's great to be with you guys, and thank you for coming with us on this journey. We ask that you would continue to subscribe, click the bell button, and we ask that you would leave comments as well. Thank you for your support, and God bless you.